For me, this is the highlight of the entire dance practice. We're breaking down another dance practice today. This time it's going to be to TXT's Deja Vu. I love this song. I've had the song on repeat since the song came out. I've covered the dance at least 3+ times, so if you guys want to check that out, it's on my YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, or TikTok, whichever one you have. Overall, this dance has a lot of strong movements. There's going to be times where they're hitting the basses in the back, which is pretty obvious, but there's also going to be times where they really fill out the movements and take their time with the musicality. So let's go and break this one down. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's go, baby. I really like this intro here because they're gonna go and walk back here and hit those little sounds in the back to give this contrast in the intro. What I really like is that they actually hit the musicality in two different ways. So in the very beginning, when they're walking back and they hit those little ding sounds right after, they're hitting it in more of a sharp manner. So they're kind of hitting it more clean and just more sharp. And then when they get to that one formation where they kind of switch around and then they hit those basses, they now add a lot more oomph and just more strength, essentially just like more heaviness into the actual moves itself to give us that contrast in the very beginning. So really like this intro because right off the bat it gives us like kind of a balance between the two, right? So let's keep going. Great way to split up the members right there. And what's really good with TXT is that not only that they're clean with their angles, their pictures, but their textures are essentially the same, which means this gives them that synchronized look. Just because they're all doing the same moves and hitting everything on time, or the timing's the same, their textures are essentially the same throughout their movement. So when they follow the way that they sing, they do it all the same. When they hit a move that's supposed to be sharp, they all hit it sharp. That's what I mean by being clean. It's not necessarily hitting all the moves right on time, but it's also what happens in between all of that actually makes it really good. And they have that execution, which is why I love watching TXT dance. And with the chorus, I think there's a good balance of really hitting those basses in the back, but being groovy at the same time. And I'm going to talk about this part too, that really slow part where they just sing Deja Vu and they kind of just drag it along. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of the chorus. That is killing me. I love how they put the sticker over him every time the shirt lifts up, but for any other member, it's just not. It's just not there. But anyway, let's go back to the chorus. So with the chorus, it starts off really strong where they do a little bit of footwork and then they kind of roll their arms and pointing, I think, towards their neck. And then they hit these basses where they're pulling up with their legs. And then they get to this part where they're kind of, not even kind of, they're really stretching their neck out, I believe, to the right. I'm trying to remember how I learned it. There's a part where they really stretch out their neck to the right. And what this does is that this gives the move the illusion that it's much bigger than it actually is. The reason being is that they're actually fully extending the neck where it needs to be, and then they follow up where they use their other hand in the in part of that chorus to actually have the head follow on that second hip move. I know that was a lot, but I'll just put it there so you guys will see. I'll talk over it by redoing the entire chorus here, but there's a lot of balance here because they groove it out with that hip move and then they go aggressive again to kind of hit these basses in the vocals of the song, and then they get to Deja Vu when they're singing it and they're really filling out that movement where one member is standing up and they're just raising their arm up while all the other members are on the ground with their arms over their forehead. With this is that they're not rushing the way that they're singing Deja Vu, right? So that means they're filling out the entirety of Deja Vu as they do that one move where they're really, really dragging it along. So what's really important about that part, and why I think that part holds a lot of significance, is that you can't be early leaving that move. You want to fill out as much as you can versus leaving it early. If you leave the move early and you hit the next moves earlier than the other members, then it doesn't hold that much significance because you weren't really, like, there was no patience within the move. That is why I really like the chorus a lot, especially where they're singing Deja Vu. It's because there's a lot of patience within that move. So they're gonna go and attack aggressively here with all those bases in the back. The neck movement, the hip movement, hitting the bases once again. And here's a groove right here where they all hit it exactly the same. And here again, they're being patient with the way that they're singing Deja Vu, being aggressive right here when they say it louder. And so I think the theme with this dance as well is that you're gonna be hitting a lot of the basses that you hear in the back of the song. So especially that mini section where Huening-kai was centered the entire time, pay attention to what they're actually hitting in the back of the song, and a lot of it is actually going to be on the basses. And this is emphasis on the strength of the dance. And that's how I'm interpreting it. So when I'm watching this dance, is that they really want to hit those basses in the back to really give us that, oh, this is going to be one of those dances where you really have to have strength in your arms, energy throughout your arms, your legs, essentially like that. So not where it's super tense, but tense enough that you know that there's strength behind the actual dance. And I'm just gonna replay it so you guys could just see it again. But at the same time, they're not rushing these movements. Great reveal here where they kind of single them out and just do accent choreo, and then we get to this part where the footwork, that's where they really pick it up, I think, within the entire dance a little bit, other than the dance break. So I think what I really like about that section all the way to the end of Yeonjun's part, right, we have a little bit of a pickup. And we also get this contrast of the reveal here where they're doing accent choreo and he's just doing his part. So he's just gonna do choreo on his own while the other members are just gonna go and accent him as he's doing a solo. Especially this part right here where he's facing backwards. Right here, they're gonna actually follow the movement of what he does as choreo with their bodies here. So that helps give like a better image of what he's actually doing on the right hand side as they do that rotation the opposite way. This makes that move a lot bigger because it's helping him be more highlighted in that section. And then we get to this part, they pick it up a little bit where they pick up the tempo of the choreo. Again, more basses. So what I like about Yeonjun's part all the way up into the chorus again, actually not even just Yeonjun's, I call him Terry. Where is he? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I call him Terry, alright? For my Twitch chat told me it's just easier to, or okay, they told me it's either Taehyun or Terry. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I call him Terry, alright? But I really like this section too, because you know that this part is gonna pick up right when he gets revealed. And so with Yeonjun's part, you hear the footwork, right? But you hear them hitting on the basses again. There's a triple bass in the beginning of that combo, and then they lag it out to hit a double bass right on the last two steps to pick it up after like the footwork. It's really hard to hear in this dance practice because they don't overlay it with music. But I'm just gonna replay it again, just hopefully that you guys can see it again. And again, this is a good contrast from what we have seen throughout the entire dance practice. And one more thing, I know I've been over this section a lot, There's one thing that I really like from this section is this part where they do like a little pause where they change levels right there. And it's pretty obvious when they do it, but I like pointing that out. And here we go, where they really attack the chorus once again. We got the hip part, hitting the basses once again. Love that groove because they do it all the same. Being patient with Deja Vu. And switching it up to be a little bit more aggressive right here. Here's the one thing I love about TXT is that when they do choreo that involves really moving their neck, they really move their neck. So before we actually get to that last part of the song, what I like about this mini dance break right here when Yeonjun center is that now they're hitting a lot of clean pictures, but not only that, they're actually really fully extending or like making a use of their neck range of motion. And you'll see that when they start the dance break, they do this like rotation with their entire body. But not only that they do this rotation with their entire body, but they do it with their head as well. And now this is really truly breaking out of that invisible box that a lot of dancers are used to dancing in, including myself, is that normally when you're learning choreo, you tend to not really fully extend your moves, not because you're just unintentionally doing it, just because you feel like you're fully extending, which is why I think it's really important to record yourself dancing, mainly because so you could see full extension. So with this part, you'll see that TXT is just going to be fully extending a lot of their moves, really hitting those pictures that we can see, so that we can see how clean they are, how sharp, how just talented. I'm just now at this point being biased, but you guys know what I mean. And the kick that he does, he also does it in on a wind sound in the song. So I don't know if you guys heard that. It's pretty easy to hear it in this part, but yeah, when he kicks, there's a wind sound that I think he hits it in the back of the song. For me, this is the highlight of the entire dance practice. By far the highlight of the dance practice, and a big reason for that is that they didn't necessarily try to kill this part of the choreo. All they did was do this really, really significant pose. I think it has something to do with the lyrics as well. They're really just taking their time and just hitting that high note that's in the back. Whoever's singing that, and I love that. Because if you fully commit to that character, you could really send a message without having to do that much choreo. Love this V formation where they take their time, hitting the basses once again. Goddamn TXT, every fucking time. TXT is just too fun to watch when it comes to dancing. I love how versatile they are when it comes to dancing as well. I'm sure if you guys are TXT stans, you guys know what I mean by versatile, because a lot of their music is also different from one another. So I know that when I first started listening to TXT, I wasn't sure what to expect, because there would be one song that I'd listen to that would be in this genre, and then they would have a completely different genre, different concept, and the way that they attack choreo or the way that the dances are choreographed are very intentional with the song, with the way that the songs feel, especially this one. So if you guys like Deja Vu in terms of the song and how it feels, they're very intentional of how they want you to see the dance and how they wanted you to feel, especially like I said, that one part where they're just hitting that praying position or like begging position. I think that has something to do with the lyrics, and like I said, it's very intentional. So if you guys are TXT stans, I'll be breaking down more dance practices very, very soon. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm out.